Here's something that will shock every ride-hailing enthusiast and informal taxi driver in Saudi Arabia. Your days of making quick cash from unlicensed passenger transport just came to a screeching halt. The Saudi Transport General Authority has just dropped the hammer with a revolutionary road transport law that's about to reshape the entire landscape of passenger transportation across the kingdom. And trust me, the penalties they're threatening will make you think twice before even considering an unlicensed ride. But here's where it gets controversial. This sweeping crackdown doesn't just target the obvious violators. The new legislation casts such a wide net that even seemingly innocent actions could land you in serious legal trouble. Let me break down exactly what's happening and why this could be the most significant transport regulation Saudi Arabia has ever implemented. The Transport General Authority has rolled out a comprehensive legal framework that completely prohibits any form of unauthorized road transport activities. This isn't just about stopping illegal taxi services. It's a total war against the entire informal passenger transport ecosystem that has operated in gray areas for years. What makes this law particularly fascinating and potentially problematic is how broadly it defines violations. The authorities have criminalized not just the act of transporting passengers without proper licensing, but also what they call preparatory activities. Here's the complete list of activities that can now get you into serious trouble. Actively calling out to potential passengers or using any method to encourage them to board your vehicle. Approaching individuals on the street to offer transportation services. Following pedestrians or intercepting people with the intention of providing rides. Loitering or positioning yourself in designated passenger pickup zones without authorization. Driving around neighborhoods, markets, or busy areas with the clear intent to attract passengers. And this is the part most people miss. Even if you're just standing around in a crowded area with your car nearby, authorities can now charge you with preparatory violations if they determine your intent was to solicit passengers. The law essentially criminalizes the thought process behind unlicensed transport activities. The penalty structure reveals just how seriously Saudi Arabia is taking this crackdown. The government has created a two-tier punishment system that escalates based on the severity of your violation. For those caught in preparatory activities, essentially being in the wrong place with the wrong intentions, violators face financial penalties reaching up to 11,000 Saudi riyals. Additionally, authorities will impound your vehicle for a maximum of 25 days, effectively removing your ability to earn income during that period. But here's where the consequences become truly severe. If you're actually caught transporting passengers without proper licensing, the government unleashes its full regulatory fury. Active violators face crushing fines, up to 20,000 Saudi riyals, vehicle impoundment extending up to 60 days, and in extreme cases, authorities may auction off your confiscated vehicle entirely. For non-Saudi residents, there's an additional layer of punishment that could permanently alter their lives: deportation. This means foreign workers could depend on informal transport income to support their families back home, face the prospect of losing not just their transportation business, but their entire residency status in the kingdom. What's particularly striking about this enforcement approach is that it applies equally to Saudi citizens and foreign residents, though the immigration consequences obviously impact non-citizens more severely. This universal application suggests the government views unlicensed transport as a serious threat to public safety and economic order, regardless of the violator's nationality. The Transport General Authority justifies these harsh measures by pointing to several critical objectives that go beyond simple rule enforcement. First, they're attempting to completely eliminate what they characterize as illegal passenger transport practices that have operated outside regulatory oversight for years. This includes everything from informal neighborhood taxi services to opportunistic ride offers that bypass safety and quality standards. Second, the government claims these regulations protect passenger rights and safety by ensuring all transport providers meet established licensing requirements, insurance standards, And vehicle safety protocols. Unlicensed operators typically don't carry proper insurance coverage, leaving passengers vulnerable in case of accidents or disputes. Third, authorities want to guarantee consistent quality across all transportation services. Licensed operators must meet specific training requirements, vehicle maintenance standards, and customer service protocols that informal providers often ignore. Finally, this crackdown aims to support legitimate licensed operators who have invested significant time and money to comply with regulatory requirements. These businesses argue that unlicensed competitors create unfair market conditions by avoiding the costs and responsibilities that come with proper authorization. Recognizing that enforcement alone might not achieve complete compliance, the Transport General Authority has launched an extensive public education initiative across Saudi Arabia. This multifaceted awareness campaign includes organized workshops where officials explain the new regulations in detail, public meetings in various communities to address concerns and questions, and comprehensive guidance manuals distributed to help stakeholders understand their obligations under the updated transport laws. The government strategy combines aggressive legal enforcement with proactive education, suggesting they believe both punishment and prevention are necessary to transform Saudi Arabia's transportation landscape. By implementing this dual approach of strict penalties and widespread awareness campaigns, the Transport General Authority is working to establish what they describe as a safer, more reliable, and comprehensively regulated road transport environment throughout the kingdom. But here's the million-dollar question that's sparking heated debates across Saudi social media. Is this aggressive crackdown actually necessary? Or is the government overreaching into economic activities that have traditionally provided income opportunities for ordinary citizens? Some argue that informal transport services fill important gaps in areas where licensed operators don't adequately serve lower-income communities. Others contend that these unlicensed services exploit both drivers and passengers by operating without proper safety oversight or legal protections. What do you think? Are these severe penalties justified to protect passenger safety and support legitimate businesses? Or does this law go too far in criminalizing economic activities that many families depend on for survival? Should there be more graduated enforcement that gives current informal operators a pathway to become licensed, rather than simply punishing them out of existence? Share your thoughts. Do you support Saudi Arabia's hardline approach? Or do you believe there should be more flexibility in how these transportation regulations are implemented?